Of Tampa is about to move on, but not before Pam Iorio looked back on her 8 years as mayor of Tampa during her State of the City address today. During that time, Iorio says crime fell by more than 60%. She also pointed to Curtis Hickson Park, along with 2 museums that became realities. The mayor spoke in front of city workers, police officers, and politicians today. Iorio says the city is much better now than it was when she took over, but she still hopes mass transit improves.
And now our job is to figure out what the voters are willing to accept and what we can afford to build. One thing we cannot afford to do is do nothing.
Mayor Iorio once again reiterated her disappointment with Governor Scott's rejection of federal dollars for high-speed rail.
Well, it's now up to the voters in Tampa to pick the person who will replace Iorio and lead the city into the future. A new poll shows candidate Rose Ferlita leading Bob Buckhorn 43% to 33% among likely voters. According to the Chamber of Commerce poll, Ferlita and Buckhorn are neck and neck among Democratic voters, but Ferlita holds a 17-point advantage among Republicans. And today, the back and forth between the candidates got a little nasty. Our Jeff Butera is here with more on the bickering and an in-depth look at the substance of each candidate's plan for the future. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Linda. The idea of substance came up during last night's debate. Bob Buckhorn and even the debate moderator questioned Rose Ferlita about whether she had true details about what she wants to do as Tampa mayor. And her answer was, wait till tomorrow. Well, today is tomorrow, and Ferlita had more details.
Don't you think the voters deserve more specifics?
After Bob Buckhorn's attack last night, Rose Ferlita fought back today.
Some people have been concerned about details. There have been, in fact, details.
Wanting those details, I asked the pharmacist and former city councilwoman what she'd do on day one as mayor. She told me she'd do a fiscal impact analysis, basically making sure every city dime is well spent. Then she'd focus on pension reform for city employees. They'd pay more into the system. What she says she wouldn't do is change how City Hall is structured now under Mayor Pam Iorio.
I would not spend 1 minute, one wasted minute, to change the structure of what Pam has put together.
Ferlita also says as mayor, she'd lure all kinds of business to Tampa, not just big business with high-paying jobs.
We cannot focus on exclusively the cluster industries of biotech and high-tech.
So how is Bob Buckhorn different? Well, partially it has to do with how he wants to organize this place down here. He's got different ideas for what he wants to do at City Hall. He wants to consolidate some city jobs and create 2 deputy mayors to focus on his 2 priorities, neighborhood empowerment and economic opportunity. And he disagrees with Ferlita. He thinks the city must focus on biotech and high-tech.
My campaign is about aspiring for new heights. Her campaign is a race for the bottom. That's not going to get us to the point where we're the city in America that everybody talks about.
And what the public affairs consultant and former city councilman was talking about today was that he still thinks his opponent's plan is light on details.
Her plan is nothing more than generalities.
Now, Buckhorn also agrees with Ferlita that city employees' pensions have to be reformed. They both say it's a reality of the struggling economy. Both also support a full ban on panhandling in the city. Now, the early voting for the runoff election begins on Saturday. Election day is March 22nd. James?